Alright, hey guys, how you been? Ken here. Yeah, I haven't made another video in a while now. Midterms have been beating my ass. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to go ahead and jump into this cdev guide for you guys.
What's shaking?
Now, before I even decide to even talk about this guide, I'm gonna talk about you guys. Like, Jesus, wow. I did not think that you guys like the videos like this. I'm getting subs left and right, and I'm really happy. I'm pumped. I want to make more videos, and I need you guys' ideas because I don't want to just make this just a one-stop shop that just make so guides or whatever. I want to make things that are necessary that people can't really find other places. So I want to make sure to make those videos that you guys actually need, not just go ahead just make this a one-stop shop. But go ahead and put in the comments what you guys want to see, and I'll go ahead and just keep making more videos because wow, I don't know what to say. Like, I didn't think I would get this much views. Didn't think I'd even get anything close to this many subs. So I want to work with you guys here. Just let me know what you want, and I'll go ahead and keep on working for it. Now, let's go into it. Now, some things I want to address before I even start jumping into the mechanics and everything is things to help you guys cover up. So, I remember in my previous video, I was telling you guys that you needed 16.6 physical peers, and, you know, you needing your accuracy to like 89 to 100 and things like that. Now, being that this game is pretty much RNG, it's hard to actually reach those goals. It's just depending, you're in the mercy of the RNG in this game. So keep in mind that you have your guild buffs that you can apply on yourself, like the little accuracy boost, the little 3% physical and magical piercing boost that you can give yourself. Like I said before, you can go ahead and head over to your guild house where you go to the supply merchant, and if you really need some more boost in your physical and magical piercing, you could always just come here and buy the weakness exploit tonic, weak point analysis. Yeah, there you go, the weak point analysis tonic, things like that, and pretty much do those to help you. Now, one more thing before I even jump into the mechanics is that if you're a melee class, something that's actually going to really help you with your damage, like a lot, is the Lepentas. Now, the Lepenta I'm talking about specifically would be the, I think it's a Shockwave Lepenta. I should have them in my inventory still here. Let me go ahead and see. The Shockwave Lepenta, yeah. Now, the Shockwave Lepenta, whatever, it does about 812% of your damage. So it's like a mini nuke that you're just tossing ever so often while doing your combos. I suggest doing it as a melee class because you're gonna have to get close to use it, and if you're a range class, generally you want to stay at a range, so I just suggest a melee class using that. And you know, as before, I always said in the other video, if you also need accuracy, you can grab the bullseye tonic and all that jazz. Now, all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the mechanics. But guys, you have to realize that this dungeon, it is not for the faint of heart. This is a difficult raid. Raids in general, like, you know, traditionally are meant to be like really challenging. It's meant to be super hard. So I've been hearing a lot of people saying that you need 13, 14 and such to be able to actually do the raid. That just, it's like a buffer. It's just the more damage you can do as a group, it's just the more forgiving for the mistakes people make. That's what you need to realize. Like, the more damage you guys group does in total, it just reduces the risk of failing with the mistakes that can occur, because no one's going to be playing perfectly, you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the mechanics and into the boss, and yeah, see you guys there. Alright, so when it comes down to the mechanics, you guys really need to coordinate on what you want to do. So we go ahead and group up, we set our buffs down, and we're deciding on what we want our knight to do when it comes to things like the ads in the center after the first phase, and pretty much like making our plan from there. So comms is very important. Get out your comfort zone a little bit if you can. Go into Discords. Most of the time, Discord groups, you just don't really even need to use a mic. You just need to be there to listen so you can coordinate with your group. So we're gonna go ahead here and we're gonna start fighting the boss, and this is pretty much the easiest part in the entire raid. You just have to do damage to him until he hits about 93%. Notice on top of the HP bar there's like those little notches. There's about 10 of those, so you can see within the first notch when it gets down to like the lower quadrant of it, that's around 93%, and that's when he'll do his first stomp, which will initiate the teleport. Alright, so when it comes time to group to your knight for the bubble, you pretty much just wait for the stomp to go through, and here's a trick to actually making sure you stick on Devorak for the teleport. Wait for him to actually lift his feet up off the ground. Once he jumps and then you see him start landing, then you could please start mashing the alt key or whatever your interaction key is to make sure to latch onto him to teleport with him. My success rate with that is, you know, it's pretty decent. I want to say around 70% or so, but it can get better. Alright, so let's go ahead and start going over some of the responsibilities and the main things for coordination that you guys are going to have to try your best to do to be able to succeed in this raid. Now, as soon as Devorak teleports from the middle platform in the beginning, some ads are going to spawn in the middle, and you're going to need to have your knight go ahead and pull all the ads to the center. I believe he uses his spin ability, has like a little vacuum to it, but you want to make sure he pulls the ads over either to the entrance all the way away from the range of the rest of the party members, so they don't, you know, hit us with their homing abilities. Those homing abilities are staggers, and they don't do crazy damage, but it increases the potential of us dying, and any extra damage you take in this raid just makes it all difficult in total. Next thing I'll decide to cover would be the healing ads, which need to be killed as soon as possible. So let's start with the heavy gunner being the best choice for that. The M bomb for the heavy gunner, and primarily the homing missiles. When they jump and use a homing missile, it's perfect for actually taking out those healing ads. The healing ads don't really have any HP to them, just one tap from any ability takes them out, but the heavy gunner's homing missile is probably the best bet there. Now, the success rate isn't always perfect, so that's why with the heavy gunner they also have their M bomb to use, and if you have a rune blitter in your party, the rune blitter or illusionary blades can also actually take care of those healing ads as well. It's just the missile speed for the illusionary blades are a tad bit slower. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this little, you know, easy peasy heavy gunner diagram to know what's the good locations and good spots to actually use your M-bomb and your homing missiles. And the homing missile location is also, you know, the good sweet spot for the rune blitter to use as well. Now onto the fight itself. One thing you really need to watch out for is those runes that he slams down on the ground. Now if you get hit by the attack by itself, you get stunned for 10 seconds, and the rune is really troublesome. If you touch it, there's a good chance you'll die depending on your HP, but if you live through it, you'll be silenced for a decent amount of time, which really stops your DPS. It slows down your DPS by a lot, and DPSing this guy is important. Time is crucial. You only have 15 minutes. And watch out for the blind spot when it comes to the rune behind him. Like in this clip here, you can see that there's clearly a rune behind him, but you might, you know, forget it because he's basically standing over it. He's a tall boss, so you can't really see all the things behind him generally. And that also goes for the yellow shadows that he puts around the map. So now we're here in the next phase, and you want to be very careful now when he does the laser. Every time you see him jump and teleport to the center, he's going to do a laser. And now we're in this next phase. He's going to move the laser a lot faster, and it catches people off guard. Another thing to watch out for, occasionally when he does the laser now, he will decide to reverse, so just make sure not to get caught off guard by that. He'll never do it twice in a row, so when he does it, you don't really have to worry about it happening again right after, but just make sure to keep in pace of what's going on. Now the next thing is really important. Every time you see him kind of do the shove back away from you guys, not the red one that potion locks you guys, the one that pretty much just like pushes everyone back, watch out and look for a target under your character. If you see a target, you want to pretty much just stay away from him, because he's sending these lock-on shadows that are pretty much going to follow you for about like 5 seconds or so. I'm not too sure on the time, but they follow you for a decent amount of time, and if they touch you, they'll pretty much kill you. I think they do like about 98% of your health. Alright, so now around 54%, he'll suck up everyone and do another slam. Get protected by your knight as normal protocol, and then you want everyone to run to the stairs quickly and stay grouped together. The reason why, because when he does this laser, he will randomly select someone to originate the laser from. So with everyone in one location, you can easily walk up to dodge it as soon as he starts to charge, and then just walk back down to avoid the entire cycle of the laser in total. After that, he will then teleport back to the middle platform, where he will start doing, his normal attacks. But an added sauce to it will be, now when he pushes, instead of him targeting the furthest person from him, he will start targeting the closest. And also he'll teleport to the other edges of the middle platform, where he'll start to use lasers. Now with the shades that lock onto you, before 50%, they will always target the furthest person when he does the push, and after 50%, they will target the closest person. Alright, now here, this when things start to kick into high gear. He'll start to teleport to a random place around the middle platform, and he'll start to do a laser. You want to make sure to stand on the tile and not in the pool, because your damage is reduced. But when you see the laser moving around, you can go ahead and just jump into the pool, walk around him, and reposition yourself. Now be very, very careful when getting back onto the platform when he teleports, because he usually uses a rune slam and catches a lot of people off guard if they're not really paying attention to him. This is going to keep going on until around 40%, where then he'll start to teleport around the map constantly every 35 seconds, 30 to 35 seconds. So around the 30-second mark, just make sure to keep an eye out and just be mindful. This is when your macro and your skills really get put to the challenge. You want to be able to dish out as much damage as you can with your rotations, but then also watch for that 35-second mark, have someone call it out or something, and just keep going around until about 15% or so. Alright, now with this last push, your DPS will really get put to the test. He will start to teleport around random spots up, down, or in the middle of the center platform, just doing 360 lasers, and he'll keep pushing and just basically trying his best to be an all-around nuisance. Now the 10% mark, he'll go back to the center and pull you guys one last time. This is where he starts going on his frenzy of just jumping around, doing 360 lasers every time he can until you guys kill him. Alright, so just follow these steps and you guys will be able to net you a raid completion. Like I said, just the higher in chance of your weapon only make it easier on the time. It doesn't mean that you can't do it without a plus 14, plus 15. It just makes it easier. So yeah, go ahead and give it a shot. Thank you guys for watching.